A 28-year-old man in Florida is facing murder charges after he tricked his girlfriend into taking the abortion pill when she was 6 weeks pregnant. This is such an unbelievable story. She got pregnant. She was happy about it. She wanted to have the child, but he did not, and he was adamant about it. So at one point, she wasn't feeling well. She decided to go to the doctor, and it turns out that his father is a fertility doctor. So she goes over there, and he says, oh, it turns out you have a bacterial infection. I'm going to write you a prescription for amoxicillin. So he does, but unfortunately, the woman did not know that her boyfriend changed the label on the prescription bottle and replaced the pills with abortion pills. So she took the pills thinking that it was amoxicillin, and then she noticed that she was bleeding. She goes to the doctor, and she finds out, oh my God, I was tricked into taking the abortion pill.
They found remnants of the drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's obviously, it's horrific. It's a massive abuse of trust. Like, I mean, there's no better way to, I guess, ruin the intimate connection you have with another person than to make that sort of decision for someone. And the thing is, so we're going to get into the whole, like, the possibility that he's going to be charged with murder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, that gets into a political minefield right there. But he's a horrible guy. I mean, I think this is worse than so many other crimes that are much more common. And I hope that he is brought to justice in regard to it.
Absolutely. His name is John Andrew Welden. There's absolutely no question that he should face prosecution, and he's facing federal charges. But, you know, when it comes to the question of murder, I'm a little, I don't know, indecisive on that, because there is a law. It's referred to as the Protection of Unborn Children Act, and it states that if someone intentionally harms a woman in order to cause her to have an abortion, then he or she can be charged with murder, right? But at the same time, it's a fetus that's 6 weeks old. If we don't have personhood laws stating that a fetus is a human life, an independent human life with constitutional rights, then how come we have this weird double standard here? And
That's the purpose of it, though.
Yeah.
Is to try to have a first step at a personhood law.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. But I think there is also this issue. Let's say that a woman is murdered, and we find out that she had a fetus inside of her. Should that be a double murder charge? And I think that there are examples of people being charged with double murder. The issue here, I think, is that it's a women's right to choose issue.
Right.
And if the woman has chosen that she wants to have that child, taking that choice away from her is different than a woman choosing not to have a child and, you know, aborting that fetus intentionally. Maybe personhood, I don't know. I mean, it does open up a huge can of worms, but I wonder if personhood could be linked to the woman's choice of whether or not she identifies that fetus as being a potential child or as being an unwanted pregnancy.
I think that this is a great argument for conservatives who want to make abortion illegal, because they can use this as an example. Like,
What's
wait,
that first step
why do we have this
Yeah.
double standard in our law system? Like, why is it that in this particular case you treat the fetus as a human life, but when it comes to the right to choose, you don't care? So a woman can choose to do it, and it's okay. But if someone, and by the way,
I see it as a
I'm not
pro-choice
saying-
issue, though, because when we talk about choice, we always talk about the choice to abort. But when we say choice, we're actually talking about two options for a woman.
I know,
we
but
are
you're
pro-choice,
treating
meaning
it-
that we want to be able to choose to have life also.
But in one case, you're treating that fetus as life. In another case, you're treating it as, oh, well, it's not viable outside the womb, so a woman can choose to abort it. Do you see what I'm
I
saying?
think that you could
Yeah, of
accomplish
course.
this same goal without this dangerous, potentially slippery slope sort of argument towards personhood.
Yeah.
Cara makes a great point. It's about consent. It's about taking away her free will. It's just like the same. Like, this is probably going to be a dangerous
No,
metaphor.
by the way,
but
hold on. So let me clarify something. I'm not saying like he should like let him go. Of course,
I
like he
get that, I
should
get
face
that.
federal charges.
But I'm
The
saying-
Should they be
question
murder
is,
charges?
should they be murder charges?
And I'm saying that they shouldn't be. It should be something else. I don't know what it
I
is.
see.
Maybe it's something totally new. But it's like the difference between consensual sex and rape.
Yeah.
The crime isn't sex necessarily. It's the taking away of the woman's free will.
Yes.
Like, you don't need to criminalize sex to get rid of rape. And I don't think you need to make the fetus a human being to criminalize forced abortions.
Right.
The
That's
issue
what I'm
is
saying.
just, what is the punishment? If we can call it something specific about taking away a woman's right to choose, if you don't want to call it murder, you call it something else. And so long as the punishment it has equivalency there, I think, so long as people feel that it's a fair punishment.
Going by what you were saying right there, I think that these sorts of bills are probably being sponsored by conservatives because they see it I would assume, as a medium-term road towards a personhood amendment or something like that.
And I think they have a strong case if there are laws like this already on the books.
If it's like that, if it's worded like that. But if we do it the way Cara and I have been talking about, you could very well see Democrats sponsoring bills that are not enshrining the personhood of the baby, but enshrining the right of a woman to choose.
Yes.
Make the crime forced abortion, and that actually leads to perhaps a stronger case for a woman's right to choose rather than the reverse.
Again, I think that's such an important point to make. I know you want to move on, but just like what you were saying, when I say that I am pro-choice, I'm talking about pro-choice. I'm not talking about pro-abortion. People don't want to have abortions. I have never met one person who's had to suffer through that who said, what a great abortion I just had. I was so happy to have that abortion. People don't want to have to make that choice, but they want the choice available if they need it. But we're also talking about protecting a woman's right to have a baby if she wants to have a baby.
Absolutely.